Welcome to Fire Moment, a ministry of Fresh Fire Church in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Today you will hear a fresh word from the Lord given from the throne of grace. As you watch today, our prayer is that the fire of God would burn inside of you and ignite His presence in your life. Stay tuned after the word for ways to connect with Fresh Fire Church. And now, today's Fire Moment.
Welcome to Fire Moment, everybody. Thanks for being here today. I'm Pastor Adam, and we're going to wrap up this week talking about marital issues, having a successful marriage. We've spent some time talking about the virtuous woman, and what that is, and then really what it means to be a man after God's own heart and being a spiritual man. And we've given a lot of information, but there's so much more that you can really take and dive more into by looking and reading in the Word of God. I never want you to take what I share with you on the program and just take it for what I say. Take the Scripture, take the Word of God, and do the work on your own. Because I'm just teaching you the Word, but you need to dig deeper. And I've just barely scratched the surface. We could spend an easy 2 weeks on the program here talking about marriage, but I just wanted to provide some tools to you to help you in this time. But today I want to move into more about living with an insecure person. Every one of us have some kind of insecurity, whether it's in how you look, our weight, we're too big, we're too skinny, our hair, our finances, our job, a car we drive. There's vast amount of areas that we could be insecure. But we've heard so many times that familiar phrase, hurt people hurt people. And that is so true. It's a true statement, because when we are hurting, in an effort to protect ourselves, we lash out at others, not with the intention to hurt them, but only with the intention to protect ourselves. And in protecting ourselves, we hurt others. So that goes along with what I talked to you about dealing with our anger. Anger that goes unmanaged gets to a point of being out of control. In my family, there's a real anger issue. It's been there for generations. And I remember as a child and getting in my adolescent years, as my body was changing and hormones were changing, really having a battle with anger. And it was something that I aggressively had to deal with. Because my father had a huge anger issue. His father had a huge anger issue. And my great-great-grandfather had so it's something that had continued for years. And so we have to learn to manage those things, as well as we have to learn to deal with our insecurities. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Because we get married with the promise. We get married and promise to love one another. And we intend to do that. But it's not long after we get married that we realize we might not have so much love to give. And the reason is because we don't love ourselves. And we get married with the intention of loving and supporting and being there. But it's when we then enter into that covenant of marriage that your flaws and their flaws are magnified. And it becomes really challenging to love people through their flaws. Through the fact that maybe they're not paying attention to you like they did when they dated. Now you're married, and now the convenience is there. You'll always be there. So now we don't woo each other. We forget about date nights. We forget about buying a gift just to buy a gift. I remember she's now my ex-wife, but when we dated, we were sickening in love, and my parents were just like, they always went, because either I was giving flowers or I was getting a gift. And I remember before we were ever even married, my wife, when huge gold herringbone necklaces were popular, it was about a half-inch wide herringbone necklace. She got it for me. She spent $800 on it. My mom and dad were livid, but it was just and that was happening all the time with her and I. We got married, and boom, within 12 months, it was over. We weren't talking. Intimacy went out the door. We had children, of course, but so many things had changed. And why? Because the imperfections and the insecurities were magnified. The areas where she was insecure were magnified because of me, because of our relationships. And same thing with her and I both. And so we had to learn who each other were, our strengths, our weaknesses. You see, being married, your partner, your spouse, your husband or your wife are there to be strong in your weaknesses. And so many times we erect walls because of our weaknesses. And we've got to learn, how do we communicate my weaknesses without making me vulnerable? Because if I tell them my weakness, or if I'm transparent about that, now I give them the ammunition to hurt me. And I know that rings home to all of us, because Although we want to communicate, what we don't want to do is really tell them how you can hurt me, right? I don't want to tell the people that I'm close to, this is how you can hurt me. If I tell them, well, I'm insecure about, people all the time, for example, make comments on how skinny I am, as if I don't know that already, all right? And it can create a huge complex. And, like, I don't know, it's hard to buy my pants. Like, I don't know, it's disgustingly skinny. Or, and then there's other people who are on the other side of that. Like, they don't need to hear, that they're struggling with their weight, right? They don't need to hear that. They already know it already. They're not oblivious to that fact. And so there's many things. So how do we deal with insecurity in us and during our marriage? Number one, marriage will not fix the problem. If you're insecure, marriage isn't going to fix it. Marriage will magnify it. So it's important that you deal with you. But then as a spouse, you understand how you can help your spouse and how you can help them overcome their insecurity. It's real important. So other pressures that insecurity and low self-esteem bring, they bring all sorts of things. They'll bring other complexes. They'll bring other negative thinking. It'll do all sorts of things. But I want to focus for the last few minutes here on how can you help a partner with low self-esteem? How can you help your spouse? And then we have two special segments coming up. Ephesians 5:29 says, "No man hates his own flesh, but nurtures or nourishes it." All right? And the word nourish in the Greek means to rear or feed, as in God's care for Israel, to nurse, bring up, or bring from out of, to train up. So none of us hate our own flesh, but we need to nourish or nurture it. All right? And that's the responsibility of a spouse, that we help to nurture the spouse and their weaknesses. That there's nothing wrong with you and your spouse laying in bed together and talking about your weaknesses. That we need to understand our bedrooms, ladies and gentlemen, should be our haven. That's not the place the whole family comes together to have a talk. That is your haven, your place of rest. And that's where you and your spouse need to have your intimate conversations where intimacy belongs. You don't have a family meeting in there. Don't argue in your bedroom, because that changes the whole mindset of what that room is about. I've had women sit before me and say, I can't stand to lay with my husband because it's when we go there and then we go in there to have sex, he beats me. And I look over when I'm laying there having sex and I see where I just got my head busted the week before that, and I hate him for it. Never take an argument. Don't take anything into the bedroom other than you're changing, and nurturing the relationship. Those romantic moments, intimacy, those things, that belongs in the bedroom. All of that, and everything else needs to be taken out of that. And that may sound extreme, but I'm telling you, we are emotional people, and to atmospheres we attach an emotion to. People, when they come to church, they attach an emotion to that. They know it makes them joy, or maybe it makes them angry. Or, if, for example, if you've ever been to a church and you left one and then you went back, those old emotions are attached to the atmosphere. So we are that kind of people. So we have to be careful of the atmospheres that we're creating. So, example, of nourishing, taking time to just enrich it and pour into one another. God did not give up on Israel, so nourish refers to God's care for Israel. You and I can't give up on one another. We got to nourish one another. Edify, assure of your love in a variety of ways, verbally, loving acts, lovely touches, and affection. That never can cease. Sometimes just an affectionate touch can soothe the spirit of a person with a low self-esteem. It really can. That doesn't matter what the world thinks or how they view themselves. They need to know that in your eyes, they're everything. So you may not really like the fact that, things have changed. Maybe your physical appearance has changed. Maybe your spouse is underweight or overweight. But in your eyes, they need to know that they are absolutely beautiful. They know their flaws, and it will nourish them. It will encourage them. And so many times as a spouse, we're quick to magnify their flaws. No. Remember, you got married and you were one. So if you stand and you magnify their flaws, what you're in essence saying is that is now our flaw. All right? So we've got to really be careful. Guard and understand that we're there to protect one another. We're not there to throw the blame game and throw judgment on one another. Also, in order to really protect and deal with self-esteem, confront. Be sensitive to God's timing. So many times when we confront, we do it in the wrong timing. All right? Don't confront issues when tension's already high. Don't confront issues the minute you get home from work. Don't confront issues when you're tired. Be sensitive to God's timing. Remember, nurture. To nurture also means to train. All right? As God nurtured Israel, so we need to nurture our relationships. All right? There's so much to all of this, friends. I'm just simply out of time. But there's so much dysfunction between husbands and wives. And simply what dysfunction between husbands and wives is, dysfunction causes us to live below what God intended. If your marriage is dysfunctional, your home, and really to be dysfunctional means if you think you're not functional, that's dysfunctional, because every family has some sort of dysfunction. But really, when we are allowing dysfunction in our marriage, in essence, it means you're living far below what God intended for you. Remember the promises of God. He says He desires that you prosper and be in good health. He wants you to be a virtuous woman. He wants you to be a man after His own heart. And when we're living below that, when we're not allowing those things to be a part of who we are, we're living far below where God intended. Friends, I'm simply out of time, and I have so much more I want to give to you. But we will visit this again. I want to hear from you. Feel free to send me an email. Let us know what you think or questions you might have. Part of what we want to do is always bring to you what you'd like to hear. So feel free to email us to info@freshfirechurch.net. You can share your thoughts, your comments, suggestions. We always want to hear from you. And as always, send us your prayer requests. I love you, friends. We're going to come right back. We have some special Christmas segments for you on decorating and great craft ideas. So you don't want to miss it. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Fresh Fire Church School of Ministry and Training Center offers a variety of ministries, from ignited youth to extreme adventures, women's ministry, intercessory prayer, produce to people, and Bible college. There's something for everyone to help strengthen your walk with Christ. Find out about all these ministries and more by visiting freshfirechurch.net and then joining us each Sunday and Wednesday. Call 724-580-7027 for more information. Fresh Fire Church, School of Ministry, and Training Center, equipping you to be your best.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around with us today. On the set with us today is Stephanie, one of our children's ministers here at the church, and she's actually going to just show us and go over some holiday decor ideas. I was going to say decorating, but I stand corrected. They've told me this is a decor segment. So, Stephanie, tell us what we're going to do today. Welcome to Fire Moment.
Thank you, Pastor Adam. We actually have a lot planned for today, and the greatest part about it is that it's all things that are already around your home, so there's not an added expense with it. So, just maybe things you hadn't thought of, great decorating ideas that are, timeless and very classy, and certainly will get your holiday or your home very festive. So.
Okay. All right. So what are we going to do first?
We're going to start off, actually, if you just had any kind of plate, any kind, really, you'll just go ahead and start with that. Pillar candle would be great, or even we've like the 3 wick here. If you put that there and you have some pine cones of any kind, you can put ornaments on there. You can put, Christmas bulbs. They even have the lights, the Christmas lights that don't even require, that plug into an outlet. So that might be something too to put on there. So you have those. We also today are going to put on poinsettias, and you'll see how quickly this transformed into a really nice centerpiece. I'll add these here. There we are. Just put them, sporadically throughout.
And a lot of these can come off of like decorations who've seen their last days.
Yes.
If you tear apart like an old wreath, you can get a lot of things out of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And people are getting rid of things or whatever you have leftovers of at the end of the season, after you've already put up your main decorations. A lot of these things come from. So
okay.
That's a nice centerpiece idea there. Another one, maybe for like a dining room table, as you're celebrating the holiday dinner that night. If you did want to put something nicer in the middle of your table, take that same kind of candle, put it there, and actually we have some same kind of cones you want to put on there. You can just position them in a certain way like this, and you can either secure those down with you can do like a hot glue gun, usually works best. We have those as you can put on. Put a few on there. We have poinsettias you can put on there again, same thing.
Okay.
And we have, we've used bows also in the past. So any number of those things will work well. And, from every angle, wherever anyone is sitting, it's going to look very nice. Light that up for, around Christmas dinner, and I think it would be really nice. So that's
very
one
nice.
option. The very same way that we did that, another option would be, of course, to remove the candle, but to fasten this then onto a door. And if you did that, you probably would want to add maybe a wreath, or I'm sorry, a bow to the wreath rather. So we actually are going to do a little tutorial. A lot of people don't realize maybe how to make the bow. So, really the length of bow, the, ribbon that you have, indicates how many loops you're going to have in your bow or how big your bow will end up being. So if you make it in like a kind of like an accordion here, you just fold it up.
Does it have to be a certain kind of ribbon?
I was just going to say the wired ribbon is what you want. So it's the one with like, it has the edge that's kind of bendable and stays.
Okay.
So you'll do that, fold it up, and take one of those loose ends in the middle and fasten it around the outside there. Okay. And once you do that, you're going to take these loops now that are here and open them up. And with that wired ribbon in there, that wire on the end of that ribbon there, it'll let you kind of form it to whatever way you want. You can make the loops however big you want or however small you want.
Okay.
You open those up. We actually have a completed one here. I'll show you. Really, when it's done, it's really nice. And you can choose to either leave the tails on, the longer tails, and let those hang down as well, or you can, keep it so it's just the bow. And that would just come down here. And again, usually a lot of the time, these are fastened on with the hot glue, or even, any old thing. Oops, I'm sorry about that. Any old thing here you could use to get it secured on, like a twist tie or anything like that. They have like the zip ties, so those work really well as well.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just get this one over.
That's quick and easy.
That's right. That's right. In no time. All right. This one's done. All right. And then this one here, we already had done the head. This is actually just, garland, and we wrapped it around the base, and we put some ornaments in here, and with these ones, being so sparkly, they really catch the light really nice, and, anything clear, if you want to put it in like one of the hurricanes or anything like that, really showcase that, and it's like a little bit of a, gives you a little bit of height, so that's a little bit of an alternative there. Okay. We actually also had a swag that would maybe lay across your mantle. That's very easy as well. If you have loose branches here we go. Just go like this. Put a couple, so, position them in such a way that they kind of fan out from the center point here. Okay. All right. And however many or few you want is really, it's your discretion. It's, that's a nice thing. Everything's really unique with this. So this could maybe be in your mantle, as I said. Again, pine cones, poinsettias, whatever you have, whatever you think would look nice. You just go ahead and put those on there. They can be secured. They can just lay loose, so you can break it down again after. You want to change it up throughout the season. You would just put those on like that. Okay, and that could go across your mantle, really anywhere. That could also be a centerpiece if you wanted something lower, just say maybe communicating with people at the dinner table. Okay, it's another option. I don't know if you want me to slide that one over. All right. I have a bigger swag that I'd like to show you, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that.
All right.
There's that one. There we go. Yes, and this. Yes. No. I need these three things and that's it. Okay. We ready? Okay. And here you'll see, Pastor Adam, I have a branch from an artificial tree that, we just had replaced it here at the church. So we have an extra branch that we're going to use as a swag over a door. Okay. Like you would have. So we're actually going to just kind of separate these branches. I'll show the folks at home. Down the middle here. Okay. Just like that. So it's kind of like in the middle you have a little bit of a space. Okay. And then we actually have a bow too that we're going to go ahead and press right here in the middle. And it can be secured with a twist tie. Again, you can do hot glue, however you would do it. You would just put it on there. And as you'll see, it makes a very nice swag for in your window. You can do it over a door.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
An old
really
branch.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. An old branch from a tree. You could even do like the pine cones again, however dressed up you want, or however not dressed up is okay too.
Okay.
And we have just one more idea I just wanted to show you. Here we are. Just got that one. Okay. And just as something very simple, maybe even in on your vanity in your bathroom, just something to put small in there. You can do any common in a small basket, in a bowl, anything like that. Just maybe a few balls. Same thing as like we were doing with the vase and a couple other things. Just put those in there. And it makes a really nice, smaller scale centerpiece. So there we have it.
Very nice.
All right.
All right. So just some nice, helpful things for you to utilize what's around your house to help spruce things up for the Christmas season, celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and then Stephanie's going to show us some craft ideas she's using here for some of the children during the children's ministry that you can use at home with your child. We'll be back right after this.
Fresh Fire Church School of Ministry and Training Center offers a variety of ministries, from Ignited Youth to Extreme Adventures, Women's Ministry, Intercessory Prayer, Produce to People, and Bible College. There's something for everyone to help strengthen your walk with Christ. Find out about all these ministries and more by visiting freshfirechurch.net and then joining us each Sunday and Wednesday. Call 724-580-7027 for more information. Fresh Fire Church, School of Ministry, and Training Center, equipping you to be your best.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying with us. Now we're going to get into, Stephanie, I guess, some crafts that you have selected and put together for the kids' extreme adventures here at the church that parents can do at home. It's a fun time of year that we can really spend time with our children or grandchildren, and so give us some ideas that we could do to have some good quality family time.
Absolutely. Some of them we've already done. Some of them we plan to do, and I'm really looking forward to doing that with the children. We actually have a few of them that are even scripture-based, so that's nice as well. Here we have a snow scene, which is a very basic snow scene that Rachel of our church did. So we have glitter glue stars, we have the North Star snowflakes, the North Star here, and that of course goes along with Psalms 51:7. And that all it entails really is, like I said, some glitter glue, blue construction paper, or whatever background you want. We thought the sky and everything, and then some cotton balls we laid across the bottom here, just to show like fallen snow. So it's very simple, very easy. You just tack that on with some glue, and in a few minutes you have a beautiful creation. Put on your refrigerator for the holiday season. So that's very nice.
All right, so that's one that's easy.
Absolutely.
I remember as you're changing over, I was in Cub Scouts, and we did it was a really cool craft idea. We used to take Reader Digests or a magazine that size. You take the pages and you fold them from the top down as far as you can, and you just do that every page, and it makes a circle. And then we spray painted them green and sit on the middle of the table. They're actually really, really cute. We should have done that actually. Maybe we'll show them next week or something how to do that. But go ahead, show us the next one.
The tree then, right?
Yeah, it ended up being a Christmas tree that we just spray painted green, and then I think we pinned or glued some other things on it. But that was a long time ago.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Again, just as what you had said, things that you already have at home, which is what we're trying to do here. So these are just, of course, snowman made of styrofoam cups is really the promise here. You just are going to secure these with some glue. As long as you have like a little piece of fabric, really, not real long here, enough to go around, and that works as a scarf. I've just used construction paper for the nose, the eyes, and the mouth, and construction paper for the hat. And I just, remove the hat, remove this top part to put the paper down in for the top of the hat, and then this is just a ring of construction paper that I pre-measured and then cut out the center here, and then just kind of rest it on top there. And then in a few minutes, you have another nice craft, and your children are celebrating the Christmas season. You guys are spending time together, and it's really awesome. So,
okay.
All right.
Awesome.
The next one we have here is actually a Christmas tree. which is really very basic craft, which is so cute. We have the child's hand, of course, on the top is the star, and then down here is just green paint, and I've even still got my cup here, but it's just green, acrylic paint, and you just dip it in and use it as kind of like a stencil, and you're just, you make your tree, and that's it. And you can go ahead and decorate that with any, with other paint, or you can go ahead and decorate it with marker, crayon, however they want to decorate it is fine. And then you have another piece of art. So that's that easy. And the last one is, of course, Rudolph. So what is a Christmas without Rudolph here? All right. So we're going to go ahead and get him going. I'll show you how we got that real quick. All right. We have a brown paper bag, just like a lunch bag that you get, at the grocery store or any old place. They come, pack of so many, you could have your whole family doing one. So these are just construction paper. I've used white and then colored it in with a Sharpie for the eyes. This, I didn't actually have brown paper right now, so we just went ahead and colored it up, and there it is. So we've got that for the antlers, and it's just the bag, of course, popped open, and then I cut off right here, and then folded it down, and that's what you're seeing here. And that was so simple as well. And if you did have like a holiday party, or maybe you wanted to take treat bags for your kids' class at school, you can just certainly open this right back up, put your treats in, fold it down, and it's a cute craft. So I love that one.
Yeah, that's a great treat bag. Okay.
All right.
Very nice.
Plenty more. So where that came from.
All right. Well, thank you. I like the snowflake necklace too.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Stephanie, for being with us today and on the program and showing us all these things. So take these, make your own ideas, and spend time with the family, with children, or use them for your Sunday school class. But it's been another great week on the program. Thank you, Stephanie, for taking time to show us this and the decorations. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Friends, don't forget today is Friday, so get in church this weekend. As always, it's offering day, so go to freshfirechurch.net, click on donate, and sow seed into the program so that we can continue to do this and bring it to you. We love you. We appreciate you. And until I see you next week, we pray the fire of God consumes your life. Bye-bye, friend.
We hope you have been blessed by today's message. If you would like to know more about Fresh Fire Church, visit us at freshfirechurch.net or call us at 724-580-7027. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Visit us at 6497 National Pike, Brier Hill, Pennsylvania. Until next time, may the fire of God consume your life.